All right, David Howard's here on behalf of I-KOPS. We got Mike Carr, the one-man electrical band, Bobby Mackey himself, and RJ, the representatives from Bobby Mackey's, who ironically are the people who don't believe any of what's going on in his very own club, which I got to think is a great marketing tool. By you saying I don't believe it, everybody comes in and goes, I'll show you, Bobby Mackey. I'll have it happen to me. It's fantastic. You're a genius. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to go out and say it right now. You're a genius by saying you don't believe it.
The guys with Ghost Adventures that's been airing on the Travel Channel all this month, they at the end of the interview, when they were interviewing me, some music started to play just out of nowhere. And it sounded like strings to me, like violins. And I don't know where it came from, but they thought they had me. And they said, "See, you believe now, don't you?" I said, "No, we're going to have to talk about that."
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, did you ever figure out where it came from?
No, had no idea.
Really?
It came through the system somehow there. And
was it Mike out in the parking lot going, "Let me in! I got things to play. I got to play." No,
don't know.
Well, you know what I mean, and we'll go back because I want to talk to Dan from Cincinnati Tours. These are the guys that kind of make sure that. And each of you can get on a mic here because I want to get a little feedback from both of you. But the story, as it goes back to the book that I read, I mean, can you just recap some of the bigger legends and some of the bigger phenomena for those who, in our audience, probably a newer generation of exposure to Bobby Mackey's as a haunted entity and a haunted place? What are some of the, because there's different things out there, and I think some maybe have gotten convoluted over the years that people think, and Dan can speak to that as well, but what are some of the big ones that people come looking for?
The well, for one thing.
Sure.
Doug Hensley wrote the book, and it all involves the well, and the well was found very mysteriously. There was an asphalt floor built over this well. No one knew it was there, and Carl, who worked for me, we were in a basement one day, and I saw pick holes in that asphalt, like somebody took a pickaxe and just chopped some holes. And I asked Carl about it, and he didn't know anything about it.
Right.
But we had a flashlight, shined the flashlight down through the holes, and there was a perfect image of a well where the dry dirt was like powder. The railroad trains had evidently, obviously,
crushed it all up and
sifted it up, and
sure.
it had sunk down. It was about a foot down in there. And this well had been closed in for all these years. And how did Carl know it was there? And then later, when he told Doug Hensley the story about it, he said that something froze him in his tracks there, and it appeared in blood on the floor, dig here. So I don't know how he would have known that was there.
So he dug it out. Now, did he have, and this is something we'll get into here with Dan a little bit, but did he had some issues now after he dug this thing out?
Carl didn't actually dig it out. Another boy did that, and he did have issues after that. Something followed him home, and he had problems for some time after that.
Really? Now there's the rose, the smell of roses. There's the full body apparition. Was it the head of the stairs? Is that right, or am I messing up? Maybe Dan can speak to this.
The stairway that goes
to
nowhere.
Story, yeah. Well, the story with the rose perfume was. Johanna was a dancer at the club during the 40s. It was called the Latin Quarter. It was mob-controlled. And the story is that her father had found out about her pregnancy and her plan to run away with her lover and had her lover murdered. And the short story is that she actually took her own life there in her dressing room in the basement. Okay. And people still smell her rose perfume go past them because she's still hanging out there partying at the club.
Right, and because that was one that we played heavily on years ago when we spent the night there and were messing with a friend of ours who was broadcasting from there. But there were other things that went on that even me and the other guy that were kind of messing with him that happened around us that we thought somebody was messing with us, and we were the only ones there. And I am a believer in all this stuff. I truly do. There's some other energy force, I think, around us. I don't know exactly where it comes from. I don't know if it manifests itself as it pertains to like stories about somebody that was in a specific building, staying there or being released from there. But I do believe in this, and I felt a little bit of that. If there hadn't been somebody else with me messing with our friend, I'd have lost it and I'd have run off into the woods and you'd have never seen me again.
And Bobby's club is on perfect storm for activity.
Sure.
It's got limestone in the club. It's got underground running water. It's built on a fault line. So there's a lot of geological reasons, actually, if you want to get into that, Bobby.
Well, I've always said,
more scientific reasons of why your club is haunted.
Well, I've always said that if any place in the world could be haunted, that place could be. But I'm not a believer. But if it could be anywhere, it could be there.
Yeah.
One more story talking about Dan mentioned the girl being pregnant, Johanna being pregnant. My wife was pregnant when we were working on getting the place open, and that was 32 years ago. And see, Carl, the boy that lived up the street, came down and said, "Hi, I'm Carl. I know all about this place." He was only like 18, 19 years old. He said, "Anything you need to know about this place?" Well, after I got to know him a little bit, first thing you know, he started trying to tell me weird things that happened there. And I said, "I don't want to hear anything about that. You know, I've got everything I own, invested here. I've got to make this place a country nightclub, and I don't want that kind of talk going on." Well, he started telling my wife that, and things started happening to her. So I don't know if he put it in her mind, but things happened to her, not ever in front of me, but she was shoved down the stairs and delivered our baby prematurely. The baby weighed 1 pound 15 ounces.
Oh my God!
And they said she had a 10% chance of living. Well, that little girl is 32 years old now and a registered nurse.
How about that? And that was one of the stories, the shoving down the stairs. I couldn't remember if that happened to your wife or that was the alleged story about the girl that was there. And that's why I say some of that stuff kind of over as it
ties together
the telephone game.
It ties together with the girl being pregnant.
Right.
Seems to.
That's what I mean. But I think when you get that telephone game phenomenon where people start repeating it, it gets out of whack and you want to straighten it out every once in a while. And that's kind of what you guys do during the tours, right? Now, what they happen Thursdays and Sundays and
your tour.
I'm sorry. So there's two different things going on. Okay, I'm still catching up on this.
Okay, well, at the club on Thursdays and Sundays, all of this month we're having the tours. But on Friday and Saturday when we're open, we give tours to the basement every hour on the hour. So what's yours, Dan?
In my company, Cincinnati Tours, we put on authentic paranormal events where people can come along. We have a regular ghost tour, but we also go to places and we'll put on an authentic paranormal investigation for participants. We'll bring them in, they'll set up all the equipment, show them how to use it, and they get to be the ghost hunter for the night.
Oh, really? Now, how do they get a hold of you guys if they want to get set up with that?
Yeah, it's Haunted Cincinnati Tours. It's www.hauntedcincinnatitours.com.
Okay, and I'll ask you that again before we go, and I'll put the link up there on the slide, because I think there's a lot more. I mean, certainly Travel Channel and other TV, other channels, Sci-Fi, and everybody have really jumped into this whole world, and I think everybody considers themselves like a amateur ghost hunter, or they all want to be the next one to find something or whatever. So I think there's be a lot of interest in maybe any rockheads that want to get involved in something like that. So let's just, by way of recap, we've got a big weekend going on. Everything's going to we're going to cap this bad boy off with the one-man electrical band, the Wake the Dead show on Sunday nights, free admission. The tickets have been handed out. Can people get in at the door if they want to?
Yes.
Or have all you can. Okay, yeah. So 8 to 11, a couple different things going on, raising a little bit of money. Again, Mike mentioned the charity tie-in, if you would. If you don't mind, just to remind folks that what's going on there.
Yeah, we're doing a fundraiser for the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund. Tregan Guitars, which is a company I have an endorsement with, has donated an instrument, and we're going to raffle that instrument off that night. And whatever money we raise from that, we'll donate to the fund.
Fantastic. All right. Well, and Cincinnati Tours, we'll get that up on the website if you would like to get involved there. And Bobby, I guess this is another thing, and this is going to sound like a remedial, silly question, but tell people where the club is, because I know everybody knows the legend and everybody's heard about it, but maybe there's a lot of people that want to come. They don't know where you are.
We're in Wilder, Kentucky, just 3 miles inside 275. Mm-hmm. And from the front door of the club, you can see the skyline of Cincinnati. So it's not down in Kentucky. It's like 5 minutes from downtown.
Yeah, I think it's a lot closer than people in greater Cincinnati or dead center Cincinnati, no pun intended.
Yep.
Think you are. So it's a fun place. It is. I mean, honestly, just to come in the doors and walk around and just kind of get that vibe and feel it.
It's a throwback, and it's a honky tonk.
It is. It's a good old fashioned honky tonk.
Yep.
And that's good. And that's the nice thing about the OMEB, the one man electrical band, come in there and put a little extra honk in the honky tonk, I do believe.
He'll wake the dead and I'll clean it up.
That's right. Yeah, he'll wake the dead. You'll charge people to go film it, and then you'll stand there and go, I don't believe any of this crap. And then be able to just sit there and go, hey, somebody give me some money. I want to do something here. I want to make this happen. So you know what? It's a lot of fun. It's great to have that here this close to the big town and have that kind of excitement and enthusiasm, especially this time of year. But we'll look forward to hearing some of the EVP evidence. We'll look forward to seeing the night vision video of JD curled up like a cat, all embarrassing himself down there in the portal to hell and down in the well. And wish you all the luck in the world. Obviously, things are going well. The collaboration you guys are working on, I can't wait to see you and hear that.
Yeah, we're excited about that. It's a battle of our styles.
All right. Well, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it should be a great time, and I look forward to working out some lyrics and royalty fees on the I Didn't Start It and I Can't Stop It song that we're going to do together, and it should be big fun. So, again, thanks, guys. Again, David from I-KOPS, Dan from Cincinnati Tours, RJ, Bobby from Bobby Mackey's, Mike, the one-man electrical band. We'll have all this stuff available for you on the podcast a little bit later on.
Thank you so much.
Have a big weekend, all right?